Welcome back to my channel. This is Gina from Her Cosmic Crown, and today we are going to discuss Michael Jackson's Cards of Truth chart. Please check out my other Cards of Truth videos if you want to know more about the Cards of Truth. Everyone has a birth card, and the birth card is the card that we are trying to master. It is who we are, it's our essence. However, as we go on our journey called life, we become more and more of that card. So, looking at Michael Jackson's birth card chart, we have a 10 of hearts. People with 10 birth cards tend to be multi-talented, gifted in some kind of way. They can be successful or known for something in some kind of way. And I would argue that Michael Jackson is the greatest musician of all time thus far. Tens are about kind of going to this next level. It corresponds to the Wheel of Fortune tarot card. The 10 of Hearts represents going on the next level of expressing one's love for something and connecting to something and somebody. And I don't know if you've watched any of Michael Jackson's videos in the past, his live concerts, but there were a lot of people throwing themselves onto Michael, fainting, and so he just attracted so many people to him. People loved him, and he had a lot of love to give. And hearts also represent art or music as well. So he was very talented when it came to music, prolific with his different types of music that he put out. He was talented when it came to dancing as well. So yeah, he was just amazing. And tends just continue going on to the next level. So I think that's one of the reasons why Michael Jackson was known to be kind of the GOAT, the greatest of all time when it came to music and dancing. And a lot of people have mimicked him and copied him because he was just so influential. One of the planets I look at when I do a reading is called the Atma Karaka. And basically that is a planet with the highest degree in one's chart. And that's not including Uranus, Neptune, or Pluto. So in Michael Jackson's chart, he has Jupiter as his Atma Karaka, or his self planet. It's a planet that really represents who he is. So he has Jupiter as his self planet. So Jupiter is actually a very influential planet. When a person has a strong Jupiter in their chart, they can sway people, they can influence others to kind of go on their side. Jupiter is very important, it's influential, and I would definitely describe Michael as influential, and he left an impression on a lot of people. At the same time, he was controversial. There were a lot of allegations about him being a pedophile and things like that. There were also things that came to light that some of the kids who claimed they were abused by him, they found out later that some of those cases were not true. So there were a lot of rumors around him. And one of the things that Jupiter represents are children. It says that Jupiter is ashamed, okay? And a planet becomes ashamed when it's with Rahu or Ketu. So Rahu is the north node of the moon and Ketu is the south node of the moon. And when it's also with a malefic planet, such as Mars, the Sun, or Saturn, okay? So Jupiter is being ashamed here. And so he's receiving shame. So remember, Jupiter represents him. That's his Atma Karaka. That's one of the planets in his chart that represents who he is as a person. So we can see that he is getting ashamed because Jupiter is getting ashamed by Mars and Rahu because they're both in the same card. So a lot of the shame he received had to do with children, and he had a whole amusement park in his backyard. And a lot of people thought that was so strange. Why would this guy have, you know, this grown man have an amusement park? And then other people were saying, you know, he's just a child, he's childlike, and he didn't really have a childhood because he had such a strenuous upbringing, right? But on the other hand, if he didn't have such a strict upbringing, we might not have experienced or been able to witness such an icon. But I thought that was interesting how it shows in his Cards of Truth chart, you know, the shame about Jupiter and about him, who is childlike as well. So there's this theme with children going on in his chart. And Jupiter, we have the Jupiter card. That's something that we want to look at as well, because we were just talking about Jupiter. So the Jupiter card, we see that there are planets in either Sagittarius or Pisces or both. And so that's why, and those are both ruled by Jupiter according to traditional astrology, or, you know, Vedic astrology. So when we have the moon and Saturn in the same card, that can signify a person who had a very tough environment growing up, especially as a child, as a baby even. And there was a lot of stress going on, so much stress that they couldn't really recover from it. So there can be a lot of depression with people who have the moon and Saturn in the same card. And we have the Queen of Diamonds though. So even though there was this you know, difficulty when it came to his emotions and a lot of sorrow and a lot of pain, we have this Queen of Diamonds. So anytime we get a face card, it really helps to it really helps the planets in that card. So the Queen of Diamonds, he was, with that pain, you know, he was able to transmute and alchemize that pain into something productive. So queens are all about being productive. It's the alchemist, and it's about being intuitive as well. So even though Saturn with the moon can restrict someone's intuition and things like that, having the Queen of Diamonds, it was, you know, he was able to kind of use that pain and turn it into, you know, creativity and music. And going back to Jupiter really quickly, because we're talking about the Jupiter card and we just talked about the planet Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of creativity, and he was extremely creative. I'm not sure how much he was involved with the creative aspects of his music videos, but I loved his music videos, and I found that a lot of them were just very creative. And, you know, he created the moonwalk and other dance moves and things like that. So just a creative force. And Jupiter also is usually associated with spirituality. It's a very spiritual planet. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was a spiritual person. And, you know, in his private life, and, you know, what his spiritual beliefs were. Maybe he had a lot of wisdom, and as he got older, experienced more and more wisdom. The ecliptic card, this is the card that's in the middle. The ecliptic card represents the path that a person's on. So everyone with the 10 of Hearts birth card is on the 7 of Clubs path. And what that means is that as a person is doing their, you know, expressing themselves emotionally and letting life flow through them, and just experiencing a lot of connections and love, they're also on a path where they're going to experience more and more limitations. They're gonna be tested. They're gonna notice that a lot of their beliefs and their concepts are gonna be you know, not work for them. And so a lot of things on his path just kind of got destroyed, right? And think about his reputation and things like that. So 7 of Clubs can be one of the things that can make having 10 of Hearts extremely difficult. I want to look at his Sun card, because the Sun represents ourself. It represents our self-expression. And a person a lot of times who has good planets in the Sun card can usually have a big empire, right? So the Sun is Leo, and in this case, the Sun card basically is the sign of Leo. So a person who has nice planets in Leo can build an empire. And he built, you know, he had a lot of money, from what I know, left behind an empire. And he has these 2 friendly planets in the sign of Leo. He has Venus and Mercury. And Venus and Mercury together can create fun. They can create, you know, make a person an entertainer and things like that. And so that's in Leo. That's how he shined. And we have a 10 of Diamonds here as well. So he's not only a 10 of Hearts person, but, you know, also 10 of Diamonds, which can make you experience a lot, which can help make you kind of experience a lot of things that are of value. You can manifest a lot of valuable things in your life to help you create, to make your vision come to life. And, you know, his Sun is in the Ace of Diamonds card. So the Ace of Diamonds is all about having new things, new rewards. He received a lot of awards, right, for his music, for his creativity, his innovations. And so that's a very nice card to have. Ace of Diamonds in a Mercury card can show that a person is very skilled, and they have a skill and a talent that can keep bringing new things into their lives, and they can make progress in their life. And what's interesting is that these cards represent different time periods. So the first card represents the first 52 years of our life. And he died before he really, you know, before he was 52. I think he died at the age of 50. So, you know, this second card is the Moon card. So for everybody, the Moon card is for the next 52 years. So most of his life, he was, you know, with the 10 of Diamonds card. And then you know, if he had lived on, he would have, you know, had a theme of the 8 of Spades more. But we can really see how he was living the 10 of Diamonds card, and just such a visionary, an entertainer. This is just a glimpse into Michael Jackson's Cards of Truth chart. If you would like me to do more videos like this, let me know. I also do tropical Vedic astrology videos. I can do more of those. Let me know who you want me to look into next, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.